everyone. Welcome to This Day. It is Saturday, February 5th. Now on our show today, we have the El Toro Water District, and that is with Director Mike Gaskins. And then we talked to Sherry Hogue, who is from Memorial Care Saddleback Medical Center, and we have a great discussion about oncology and lung cancer. So something that I think we might have not known, so definitely tune in for that. All right, let's take a look at our weather for the weekend. Looking very nice, absolutely lovely out. We are looking at 72-43 today with lots of sunshine. Tomorrow even warmer, 75-47, and then about the same on Monday, 75-52. If you are traveling around the state, or maybe you're planning a trip off to Vegas, our local beaches are 71-53, Santa Barbara 70-48, San Diego 67-50, Tahoe 44-16, Mammoth 39-15, and Big Bear 46-22, so still a little chilly up in the mountains. Palm Springs 76, and then Las Vegas 66. All right, our sunrise this morning was at 6:44. Our sunset will be at 5:26, and thank you, Joel, for sending in this beautiful nighttime photo right here in the village. If you have a photo you would like to share with everyone, please email it to lagunawoodsvillagetv@gmail.com. All right, when we come back after our break, we will have the El Toro Water District, so stick around.
Welcome to Harvard Eye Associates. We're focused on your eye care at all three of our Orange County locations.
Our new location in Laguna Hills, Orange, and San Clemente.
Each facility features the latest in advanced technology and diagnostic equipment.
And a trusted collection of doctors that care about your vision and your quality of life.
We deliver what matters to you and your family.
Harvard Eye Associates, the future of vision today.
Back, as I mentioned, we have Director Mike Gaskins here on behalf of the El Toro Water District. Well, welcome to the studio. It's nice to have you in.
Well, thank you. We've talked several times virtually. This is the first time in person. I'm enjoying it.
Nice to have you here. Well, there's a lot of things to talk about, of course, but most importantly is we always need to be reminded of emergency preparedness. And, you know, you guys have to do an awful lot of preparations to make sure that our water still gets to us in case of an emergency. So
and the waste goes away. So
and the waste, yeah, we need to make sure that does too.
It's not a two-way street. But
yes, absolutely.
It's a whole process.
Right, right. So, you know, in the event of certain things, and even COVID presented some challenges as well, go over some of the emergencies that we need to be aware of.
Well, we grew up you know, talking about plague in the past, and yet we just experienced it.
Yeah.
You know, and so the modern medicine really wasn't able to keep up. So the slide that's on the screen, it shows different kinds of emergencies that are going to happen. Hopefully they're rare, hopefully, you know, but we're going to have earthquakes. We've had fires. They haven't gotten down to the village, but could be. Flooding is a reality. Power outages, completely going outages. So we have to be, as a water district, prepared to deal with all of those. And we need to have a buffer in place so we can continue to supply water and operate the wastewater plant, et cetera, for some period of time.
Okay.
Right now, we think we can go, during the winter months, certainly 60 days without new water coming into the district.
Okay.
And when there have been major outages in the past, the maximum time, I think, is 11 days to repair a major pipeline.
Okay.
So we think we're really in good shape.
All right.
For that.
Excellent. Now, you have imported supply diversification. You know, you have equipment. Tell me some of the things that you have in place.
Well, all of our pumping plants, because most of our water flows through the system by gravity, but every once in a while you've got to take it uphill. Up to where the tanks are. So we have lift stations that move that. We also have lift stations that move some of the sewage up so it can continue to flow by gravity.
Okay.
All of those run on electricity. If there were an outage, we have to have emergency generators, and we have both in place emergency generators at our pumping stations. And we have several mobile generators that can run the pump stations comfortably, so we can move them around. We also have good neighbor relationships with adjacent water districts, so we can supply equipment to them if necessary, and vice versa.
Okay, perfect. Now, you did touch on generators, so in case of a power outage, you have things in place for that.
Yes, and we have our storage of our own diesel fuel to be able to keep them running.
Okay.
We don't need to go to a gas station or get a fuel delivery in order to maintain our buffer.
Okay, great.
There's generators there on the screen behind
Excellent.
us. Those are big generators, both in the station and on the mobile.
That's great. That's great. And then for emergency purposes, do you guys go through drills?
The crews do. We don't. Because if you look at the back of my ID card, it says I'm a disaster service worker.
Oh.
And all of us are. So if one of the directors shows up, I can direct traffic. I'm not going to be repairing a pipe.
Gotcha.
But our crews do go through simulations and different things. They do confined space rescues. They do all kinds of regular training so that if the real thing happens, we're ready.
Right.
There's the Water Emergency Response Group, We Rock, which is a water-specific emergency group that we have the pleasure of actually providing them the space for their emergency center, which is up El Toro, in Mission Viejo, and they're the coordinating group for all the water districts and things like that, and they keep good track of it. And we're providing some services to them. We feel like we have great neighbors.
Yeah, oh, that's good. That's great. And then, like you said, you guys do this on a regular basis to make sure that we're all prepared. Now, in order for us to be prepared for individual homes, what are some items that you think we should have on hand just in case?
You should have an emergency stash of food and water of sorts. I have a motorhome over in the storage yard, so I think Janet and I can go for probably at least 2 weeks without any trouble.
Okay.
But not everybody has that. But you should be able to get through with water and food for a minimum of 3 days.
Okay.
And you should also have contacts to notify people so that they can check on you, do that. There is the, 1 gallon a day per person. I would think that's almost light.
Yes. Yeah.
On that. And if you have pets,
yeah,
you want to make sure that they're taking care of food for them, et cetera.
Right. Now, one thing I notice is that people, we haven't had an emergency, knock on wood, in quite some time here. So let's say I've got all the water. At what point do you swap out that water? I mean, does it
how long will it store?
Yeah, how long will it be good?
If you buy the sealed cans of water, some of that's good for 50 years.
Oh, it is?
If you're buying water from Sparklets,
yes.
I would say a couple of months.
Okay.
If you buy it, cycle it.
Yeah, because those are sealed, but they're not really airtight.
And they aren't disinfected.
Oh.
The water that we deliver you to you in your sink is disinfected.
Right.
So it is safe to drink. It's not going to go bad on you unless you have an under sink filter that you haven't changed. And those get to be their own source of bad things.
So the bottled waters that we buy at the grocery store should be fine for quite some time.
A couple of months.
Oh, those are only a couple months. So which are the ones that are that last for years?
They are actually in metal cans, sealed in metal cans.
Oh, I didn't
know
know
to some
that.
of the survival websites, and you'll find them. The people that are doing that.
Okay.
And your big own can of wheat, so you can grind your flour. That's a little too much.
Well, let's pray it doesn't come to that.
Yeah.
And also, you can go to ready.gov, and then there's another website, the ocredcross.org, which have lots of ideas of things that you can have on hand.
And Alert OC.
AlertOC.org is another organization that you can sign up for alerts.
Yes, most of us are becoming computer literate, or at least iPhone literate, or and so the Alert OC is a good thing to put down so that you will get the real news.
Right.
Official bulletins.
Yeah, we had that actually happen when they had some fires, actually not too far from here, but that did come, or when sometimes you have some of the air quality was bad. from those fires in our area. They did have some alerts there. And then the other thing, like you mentioned, is obviously you guys have other means for obviously local here. You've got social media, so you can be followed
We
on
have a website
Facebook, and your
and
website,
a Facebook page.
Right, and your Facebook page, which is great. So Facebook and Twitter is El Toro Water. That's at El Toro Water. And then, of course, if you have any phone messages or you want to call to get more information, it can be 949-837-0660.
Right, and we have great staff. They're all standing by ready to help you.
That's awesome. That's great. Well, perfect. Well, thank you for the update.
Okay.
It's always good to have emergencies on our mind.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay.
And if you want more information, of course, you can always go to etwd.com. We'll be right back.
California Living meets expert memory care at Sarasol. Our community is designed to help those with Alzheimer's or dementia live truly inspired lives. From caring staff who knows your loved one's favorite activities to comfortable routines that spark positive memories, we bring a touch of warmth into everything we do. Memory care is a big decision, and we're here to help every step of the way. See what makes Sarasol unique. Learn more today at sarasol.com.
Welcome back. Well, today I am joined by Sherry Hogue, who is here on behalf of Memorial Care Saddleback Medical Center. And she is a nurse navigator, and we're going to be talking about lung cancer today. Well, Sherry, thank you for joining me today.
Thank you, Lisa, for having me.
Now, this is the first time that I've interviewed you, so welcome to our show. And then also, just to find out a little bit about you, please let us know kind of how you arrived at this point in your life.
So I've been a nurse for too long, but I've been in oncology for most of my 27 years as a nurse, and I've actually been oncology certified since 2003. And when we moved here to California back about 11 years ago, I got into nurse navigation and really enjoy this type of oncology nursing because I really get to spend time advocating for patients and teaching them as much as I know and can find out for them, and just helping them get through their journey with cancer.
So can you be a little more specific? We have been we've interviewed a lot of different people, but I don't know if I've actually asked a specific question in terms of what an oncologist is.
So an oncologist, well, it depends on, there's different types of oncologists. You have medical oncologists that actually do more of the treatments. Radiation oncologists do like the radiation. So, and then you have your surgical oncologists that do the surgeries, and they'll be, a thoracic surgeon, for instance, with lung cancer, but you have many different kind of levels when you talk about oncology.
Okay, yeah, it sounds like it, and specifics too. So when you say that you are trained in oncology services, what is it you have to do?
So for oncology nurses, we really have to know the whole spectrum of oncology. We need to know what the actual procedures are, the diagnostic type of exams. We need to know all of the treatments, from chemotherapies to radiation to all the different surgeries. And then we also need to, understand all of the different aspects to the disease process.
Okay.
So it's a big undertaking to become certified, definitely. And years of experience helps with that.
Well, exactly, because you never really know what your circumstances will be and what you're being thrown into. So
right.
That is a lot, I can imagine.
Yes.
Remember all of that must be pretty hard. But specifically today we're talking about lung cancer. But And again, you would have to know so much about this specific entity to be able to treat people with that. And, interestingly, lung cancer is this really the leading cause of death right now?
It is. I know it's surprising because it's actually the third most commonly diagnosed cancer in our country, but yet it's the #1 cause of cancer deaths among men and women. And yeah, it actually, more people die from lung cancer than do breast, prostate, and colon combined. And so it's really shocking because you think everybody knows somebody that's had breast cancer and colon cancer, and so you automatically think those would be the leading causes, right? But lung cancer is just one that's evaded us a little bit. But we are actually, there is good news that since the 90s, we've been seeing a decline in these death rates. And it's mostly because of people stopping smoking. So smoking is the #1 risk factor for lung cancer. And it is actually associated with 80% of all lung cancer diagnoses.
Right. But that doesn't mean that people who are currently smoking, I mean, that could mean people who maybe smoked for 20 years and gave it up.
Correct. Yes. So, I mean, risk factors for lung cancer include former and current smokers. And it usually has to do with years of smoking.
Right.
Obviously, kind of with anything, the more exposure you have to a cancer causing agent, the more likely you are to develop cancer.
Okay.
Yeah, sorry.
That's okay. So let me ask you this. So, a lot more people these days with the legalization of recreational use of marijuana. Well, that's smoke. Have they done any studies about what that's doing to the lungs?
Not as much as with tobacco, although we are starting to get into looking at that, but also looking at vaping.
Yeah.
So the cigarettes, excuse me, they, people think that they're not getting nicotine from those. And that's kind of been the thought behind it is even teenagers think, oh, well, I'm not getting nicotine, I'm not smoking a cigarette. But actually the pods, like a jewel pod for vaping is equivalent, one pod is equivalent to 20 cigarettes. It's a whole pack.
Man, that's horrible.
Yeah, so it really is, it's scary because they're kind of, there might be some misleading going on behind that especially younger people don't understand.
Well, right. And now 10 years down the road, you may have more cases on your hands of lung cancer, although it's not necessarily proven at this time, but down the line, you never know.
Well, and I think one of the things that our older population is doing is thinking, oh, okay, I'm going to get away from cigarettes and I'm going to try an e-cigarette. But again, they're not understanding that a lot of that has nicotine in it as well.
Yeah, well,
even a small amount.
Do the research before you go down that path, for sure. Now, one thing I think is interesting is that we've talked a lot about the risks and things, but when you go to your doctor and you explain some of your history and things like that, at what point do they decide to test for it?
So we normally, lung cancer, that's kind of one of the problems, is that we are not catching it until later stages because the symptoms don't come about until you're normally in a later stage, which is pretty common with a lot of cancers, right? But we do have now a type of screening. It's called a low dose CT scan that can screen patients for lung cancer.
Okay.
However, you do have to be a smoker or a former smoker to be eligible for this type of screening.
I see. And I'm assuming, based on what we were just discussing, that is that at some point that could change based on what we're seeing today in terms of younger adults and other people who are partaking in some of these other smoking methods.
Exactly. So right now, the guidelines or the eligibility criteria for low dose CT scans is ages 55 to 77. But the average age of diagnosis of lung cancer is 70. So the United States Preventative Task Force in 2021 came out with a new guideline extending the age to 55 to 80. And that should give us, a better range of catching some of these cancers. However, CMS, which is the Center for Medicare and Medicaid Services, they kind of lag behind a little bit on these guidelines, and reimbursement has not been set for those age groups yet. It still is 55 to 77, and you have to have smoked at least a pack a day for 30 years and be either a current or former smoker having quit within the last 15 years.
Wow.
So those are the three big criteria to be able to get screened for lung cancer.
Now, are you on a committee of some sort that helps to monitor that or to raise concerns that maybe things should be happening at an earlier stage?
Well, yes. So we, being part of kind of the oncology world, we all are pushing for these different guidelines to kind of expand and be able to reach more people, because we know that diagnosing earlier means better chances of survival.
Exactly.
So yeah, and also as the nurse navigator here at Saddleback, I run this lung screening program. And so I'm constantly working with patients to get screened and trying to reach out and find those patients that maybe don't know about screening.
Yeah. Well, that's good. I mean, I'm glad that there are people like yourself that are out there pushing for this, because it does seem like it could be something that you could test at an earlier state, given the information, and of course, any new information that comes out along the way. So that's great. Now, if somebody was interested in learning more about what we've discussed, or maybe how to get a CT scan, what do they need to do?
So one of the things is that a physician, your primary care physician, can order this low dose CT scan, and they can, just send that order over to us. You can also give us a call here at Saddleback Medical Center. I'm available most days, and I call patients back and can give you any information that you need. I can go over the screening criteria with you and that kind of thing.
And not only do you have that kind of information, but you guys also have smoking cessation programs. Tell me a little bit about that real quick.
So our smoking cessation program at Memorial Care is virtual right now, obviously because of the pandemic. We've maintained that virtual type of course, but it is an 8-week course that is provided every other month. And it's once a week from 5 to, I believe, 6 p.m. And you can give me a call and I can get you set up with that as well.
Great. Well, I really appreciate you taking the time to explain all of this. I mean, it is a lot to take in, but nonetheless, at least the information is there. So thank you so much.
Yeah, you're welcome. Thank you.
You're welcome. And if you would like more information about what we just discussed, you can go to memorialcare.org/SB lung cancer. We'll be right back.
I'm so happy to recommend Dr. Fairman. I've been going to her for 9 years. She's done implants, crowns, bridges, root canals, and I've been happy with everything that she's done. The staff is so friendly and pleasant, kind, and gentle. I would recommend her to anyone.
We are now fully open for all your dental needs and invite you to come in and experience the brilliant smile difference.
We are close to Gate 6 near Snooty Fox Restaurant behind Coco's.
Our movie for today is somewhat of a historical movie. It talks about how Jesse Owens had a big race, and of course it talks about his track and field stars of him while attending at Ohio State University. Go Bucks! And I say that, of course, because my son graduated from Ohio State University. All right, you can catch that today at 2 p.m. with subtitles, 6 p.m. without subtitles, and that is brought to you by Memorial Care. All right, couple of announcements today. Just a reminder that Resident Services has not opened up for walk-in guests as of yet, but things might change in the next couple of weeks, so we'll keep you posted. In the meantime, please call 949-597-4600 or email them at residentservices@vmsinc.org. Now, the Christian Women's Connection is having a meeting, and they wanted us to let you know that it's called Love is in the Air, and they have a buffet, and this is the day after Valentine's Day, and that'll be in Clubhouse 1. And if you would like to participate, you will need to make a reservation, but please contact Chris Ramirez at 949-246-1053. And the Astronomy Club is having a very interesting meeting. They're going to have a guest speaker, Scott Mitchell. And this is going to be on Wednesday, February 16th in Clubhouse 1 Main Lounge at 7 p.m. And if you would like to know more information about that and all the great stuff they're going to talk about, contact Joe Camera at 805-588-0163. And then just to remind you that meditation classes are ongoing, and you can learn to meditate on Mondays from 11 to noon, and it is Zoom, and it's with Lois Rubin, and it is free. So email her at soulhlr@yahoo.com for the Zoom link, or you can get in touch with Recreation at recreation@vmsinc.org. All right, our weather, as I mentioned, looks really nice for the rest of our weekend. We are looking at 72-43, 75-47, 75-52. And around the state, as well as Las Vegas, is looking quite nice. You can see the beaches look great with the high 60s, low 70s. Big Bear and Tahoe and Mammoth are all still pretty chilly. Palm Springs, 76, and Las Vegas, 66. We will see you again right here on Village Television on Monday morning at 9 a.m. Have a great rest of your weekend. Bye-bye.
At Norm Reeves Honda Superstore Irvine, we want to buy your car. It's as easy as 1, 2, 3. 1, we come to you. On-site professional appraisals now available at your home or office. 2, you come to our dealership just minutes away for an on-the-spot appraisal. 3, value your car online at normreeveshondairvine.com. It's your choice. Plus, you get paid in 1 day or less. At Norm Reeves Honda Superstore in the Irvine Auto Center, we will buy your car.